because of international assistance. They were sick and they were dying, and it was a terrible situation. So that's why I volunteered to stay to work for a while there.
Right. And then you decided to go back again and again and made a documentary of that, calling it Beyond the Killing Fields.
Right.
And it actually eventually won an award.
Yeah, it won.
That is amazing.
It won the Golden Horse Award, Taiwan's Golden Horse Award for Best Documentary.
Which is the equivalent of the Emmy. No.
The Oscar.
I'm sorry. The Oscars. I could never get it right.
It also won the Best Short Film in the Asia Pacific Film Festival the following year.
Wow.
So
you never thought that it was going to win awards?
No, and that wasn't our purpose. Our purpose, actually, we never did our original purpose was we hoped the documentary would convince countries to accept these refugees because there were hundreds of thousands of them.
Right.
And living in a refugee camp is no life for a child or a family or anybody. But we thought, well, if we could show this film, people would be moved to accept refugees here in Taiwan or in the United States or Australia. Well, we really never succeeded in getting many of them to Taiwan because Taiwan is already kind of overcrowded. But
not even one.
And there was also that problem of martial law in those days, so the government was very sensitive. But I must say, Taiwan helped more than any other country financially. After our program was broadcast on over a period of 5 weeks on Huashi, China television service, this program called was Huashi Xinwen Zazhi, news magazine. The relief agencies received just loads of donations. I don't think Taiwan at that point had ever given so much money to abroad, sent so much money abroad as they did at that time because that film moved them. They had realized that at one time they were also poor. They were also on the run. They were also, they recalled all these things. They were also immigrants. And they really gave very generously. For 1 year, I could hardly take a taxi and pay for the taxi. The taxi driver wouldn't take it as they sent it to the refugees. Or if I'd go swimming, the little kids would come up, and their swimming money they would give me, and they send it to the Cambodian children.
Wow, that is great. At
that time, there were only 3 television channels, so in the evening, broadcast on that popular program, everyone saw it. So I didn't expect that, but it was a remarkable experience, and of seeing how the media can affect people's behavior and actually help other people. That was my first experience of that. I was quite young in this business, and but when I saw that, it made me feel I've really chosen the right job, and I hope that we can keep doing things like this.
That is great. Your purpose was achieved.
Yeah.
From that. So it's been how many years with Guangqi?
I think almost 40 years now.
Almost 40 years. That's a long time. You're still here, giving a lot and contributing a lot. What are you busy with lately? I know actually you also started, can I say you started Kids Castle?
No,
Just like Guangqi said, you're the vice president. You're not the founder.
Well, no, I'm not the founder. No, it was.
I've always thought
I never founded or started anything, but I jump on the horse when it comes by, And actually, the company that I've worked with for 25 years now, probably, is an English a franchise, English schools teaching children, and it's called Giraffe English.
Right.
And that happened also by accident. When the company was just beginning, one of our directors here ran into them at the night market, and they were passing out leaflets advertising their little English company, their English service. And he said, well, why don't you come to Guangqi? We can make an English program for you, and then everybody will know about you. So they did. We made 13 episodes. Uncle Jerry's English. And it was very popular. And it helped them, it helped their reputation. So they asked for more, and then more, and then more. So over a period of, 15 years, we were doing English programs. And then they started broadcasting them over the Phoenix Channel, Star TV to mainland China. And then I think the big thing, because I never really liked teaching English, to be honest, this is my secret. But I would prefer teaching philosophy or something like that, or even religion. But then I discovered, maybe late in the game, that by teaching English, you can also communicate values.
Okay.
And now Giraffe English, the whole company, which has over 500 schools now in Taiwan and is starting up over 20 cities in mainland China, their focus is all on character development of children. And so they teach English, but all of the examples and the stories and the focus and everything is character development. It's turning children into encouraging them to be good people, to respect people, to love people, to take care of nature. They have 51 or 55 kind of 生活规则, rules of life.
Yeah, rules of life.
That the kids have to memorize and hopefully will practice. So I said, I think that's great. In the Bible, there's only 10 commandments, and Giraffe English has 55. And so I think that's, both of us, both the company and myself, have learned the value of focusing English education on values.
So is that still going with Kids Castle? The TV program, the English teaching part?
Actually, Kids Castle is another company. But it's also a very good company, but it doesn't really have anything to do with Giraffe.
I'm sorry. I keep getting confused.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
That's all right.
I meant Giraffe.
That's all right.
Giraffe
I'm not the boss of Giraffe, so I'm not I'm not sensitive.
I said that.
And Kids Castle is a good friend of ours, so.
Okay.
But I became kind of the spokesperson for Giraffe, and we don't do television programs anymore. Although we may start up again someday.
Oh, really?
But we do every couple of years we do a TV commercial, and again we just finished one. As a matter of fact, hasn't been broadcast yet, but it also has the mottos like. English is a beginning, character is forever. Or the new one is knowledge is power, but character is more. And the whole focus is again on the healthy growth of children, their psychological, spiritual growth as young people.
Wow. Just to think that these kids, they grew up with you. All these years, from you were younger and now you've just grown a little bit of gray hair, but all these kids have grown up with you. Yeah,
that's really for me. It gives me a wonderful feeling. People sometimes come up and they say, "Oh, I watched your program. I grew up watching your program, or I watched your program when I was this high," and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry." But for me, that's the greatest compliment that they could give.
Well, people say that you haven't grown old at all. You've just been the same. From the first time they know you till now.
I wish I felt the same.
I'm sure. It's important. Just the heart. Keeping being happy, peaceful, and being grateful. That keeps a person young.
I think so. I think that's essential to keep a positive attitude. And if you love people and you love what you're doing, I think that every day is, even though sometimes it gets harder and harder to get out of bed,
really?
Once you do, you find that it's another wonderful day of life, another beautiful day.
So what are your days filled with these days, working at Guangqi?
Well, one of the main things that we're working on now, we have this series. Again, it was something we never expected, but it happened. We found that we were able to produce programs on famous Jesuit missionaries in Chinese history for mainland China. And we became friends with the documentary section of Jiangsu Television in Nanjing. And the first one we did was the first...
Oh, so you're cooperating with China
now.
Wow, this is really expanding to China. Okay.
Well, we've always wanted to have an impact on China, and we think that that's part of our mission, that Chinese people all over the world, wherever they are, in Malaysia or or Papua New Guinea, or they can all be reached by our programs. But China, of course, was the most problematic, the most difficult.
Yeah.
And we tried for a long time to produce a program on Matteo Ricci, who is a Lima Do. He's a famous, one of the first Jesuit missionaries in China. He cooperated with a man, a scholar, a Chinese scholar, Paul Xu Guangqi, to translate Euclid's Elements, and that brought geometry and Western logic into China, the first time it ever happened.
Okay.
And you can think, this was a tremendous breakthrough to bring this kind of thinking into China. And this happened because of the cooperation between a Jesuit missionary, a brilliant missionary, and his close friend, who also had become Catholic. And then also Ricci brought a map of the world. China never realized that the world extended beyond China.
China itself.
And then they started correcting the calendar, the Chinese calendar. So we thought this was a great story, but we made the story about Xu Guangqi, not about Matteo Ricci, because Matteo Ricci was a missionary, and that at that time that couldn't be broadcast in China.
Right.
Now there's no problem, no big problem, but at that time. So that's launched us on this series of TV documentaries for China. Then we followed it up by an astronomer, Adam Schell von Bell, who's the first contact between Germany and China. Okay. And now we're doing one on the famous artist Castiglione. And our Palace Museum here in Taipei and in China have many of Castiglione's works, which are a combination of Western art and Chinese art, and another breakthrough.
You're well acknowledged about a lot of different things, including art itself, and not to say your favorite philosophy and psychology even. So this is wonderful.
Well, 40 years here, it's a long time.
There's a lot that you can
learn
cover.
a lot in 40 years.
That is true. Well, one last question for you,
Sure.
which I asked you beforehand to think about, is that if you were to leave Taiwan, even though you've been here 48 years, I'm sure there's a lot of sounds that you're going to miss about Taiwan. What's that one particular most memorable sound that you would miss if you were to leave?
I thought about that today, and I thought there's so many beautiful sounds. There's the sounds of birds and animals, but I think the sound that I would miss the most is "Ni hao ma." For me, that's the most beautiful sound, in the world, no matter who says it. "Ni hao ma," if it's said in a genuine way, and I would really miss not hearing that every day.
Which means, how are you?
Right, how are you? It's just it's the common greeting of one Chinese to another, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Uncle Jerry. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you, Shirley.
And I feel like I've kind of aroused a lot of good memories for you within this 30 minutes.
Yes, you have.
About all these 48 years what you've seen about Taiwan and what Taiwan has given back to you, but you're still giving a lot to this country, and we thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Shirley.
Thank you so much for inviting us here and being able to do this in the studio.
You're most welcome.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching, people. I'm Shirley Lin.